Hello, and welcome back to the Fantasy Football Field Guide. Welcome to our second video of the week. I'm going to be ranking the NFL offseason moves in the top 10 based on their fantasy football impact. But first, I want to show you the Twitter. The link will be in the description. We do polls. Like today, we have who are the 49ers taking in this draft. Looks like a lot of you think that Justin Fields is going to be the pick. I personally think Trey Lance, but we'll do a whole separate video about that. Alright, so let's get right into it. The NFL offseason moves based on fantasy impact. First up, we have Sammy Watkins. Lamar finally gets his weapon. Sammy Watkins is probably going to be the best receiver on this team with Hollywood Brown on the other side. Sammy Watkins is just more that complete receiver that Lamar Jackson's been lacking in his career. He's just gotten overshadowed, I think, with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce on the Chiefs. But he's a really good player, and he can have a really big impact on a team that needs him. So he's going to be really good. Probably a 10 to 12 points per game score. Next, we have Phillip Lindsay. Another, I think, 10 to 12 point score, maybe even more. The upside is huge here. Phillip Lindsay is a really good back. He was hurt with injuries last year, and he shared the backfield with Melvin Gordon, and he's going to have to share the backfield again, this time with Mark Ingram and David Johnson, who was a starter last year. But I think he's the best back out of these, and this is, until we know what is happening with Deshaun Watson, I think we should assume that this is going to be a run-heavy offense. So expect Phillip Lindsay to get a lot of carries. Mark Ingram's going to get carries, and especially David Johnson, who was a starter last year. But Phillip Lindsay's just that home run hitter. He can break one. And he's going to score. He's not going to score those goal line touches. That'll probably be more of a Mark Ingram thing. But he's going to get most of the carries, and he can even catch the ball out of the backfield for you. Next, we have Hunter Henry, tight end, signing with the Patriots. This is big, but not as big as some people think, in my opinion. Hunter Henry is just that reliable guy that can get you a catch when you need it, get you a first down, but he's not going to make those big plays that different tight ends would make, like Travis Kelce, George Kittle, and someone you'll see later. But he's going to be that reliable guy. We'll have to see what happens with that offense with Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry, how they're going to split the time. But I think there's plenty of room for them both on that offense at the same time. So I think Hunter Henry's going to be good. He's going to get a lot of touchdowns. We're going to have to see what Cam Newton does, but I think he'll be better in the second year of the system. So I think Hunter Henry's going to be a really reliable guy. Probably 8 to 10 points is probably the max you're going to get out of him. But he has upside to be really good as well. Next up, we have Mike Davis. So Mike Davis is an interesting one because last year when Christian McCaffrey was hurt, he really broke out. I wouldn't say break out, but he proved that he could be a reliable back. He was averaging almost 15 points per game last year, and he's going into the offense where the new head coach, Arthur Smith, came from Tennessee, where they run the ball a ton. And Mike Davis is just that guy that you can just give it to and get 3 to 4 yards every time. He's going to get a lot of touches, a lot of touchdowns. I do think they're going to draft a running back. So take that how you want it. But I think it'll be more like the J.K. Dobbins was last year, where it started off with Mark Ingram, and then slowly they emerged J.K. Dobbins as the guy. But there's more potential to be that quicker, for a rookie running back to start quicker for this team, because especially if they have preseason training camp before, they can learn that offense, get it down, know what they need to do. But Mike Davis is still going to be that reliable guy. I don't think he's going to have the 15 points per game that he did last year, but I could definitely see him in that 10 to 12 range. Matt Ryan is going to be relying on him when he needs 3 to 4 yards, or especially on the goal line. They're just going to give it to him, hope that he can do what he does. Next, number 6, we have Jonnu Smith. As I said before, Hunter Henry's not that weapon that you can use in many different ways, but Jonnu Smith is. He can come out of the backfield. He can line up as a tight end. He can even line up in the slot if you want him to. He was great last year at Tennessee. Really broke out and got this contract with the Patriots. He has the speed to make some big plays, and he's going to be dangerous. I see him as like a 10 point per game store. I think he's going to be nearing that top 5 tight end range. I don't think he's going to be as good as Travis Kelce, George Kittle. Maybe he's on that Mark Andrews level, but I just see Jonnu Smith as this versatile weapon that you can use so many different ways that the Patriots have done before with different players. Next up at number 5, we have Curtis Samuel for the Washington football team. Curtis Samuel is a really good player. He can line up in the backfield, line up outside, line up in the slot. But he is going to be that number 2 receiver because Terry McLaurin's still there. But I think Ryan Fitzpatrick wants to push the ball downfield as much as he can. And Curtis Samuel helps him do that with the speed. And he's going to get a lot of touches. He can get touches out of the backfield as a running back. He can get touches outside or a slot running the short routes. So he's going to be really dangerous. Probably that 10 points per game is probably the max you're going to get out of him. But he has the potential to get 15, 17, around there. He's probably not going to average that, but he's going to be really good. I'd say he's a really good flex option for you. Top end flex option. Number 4, we have Marvin Jones. This one's tough for me because I do think they're going to draft Trevor Lawrence, obviously. And I don't think they're going to rush Trevor Lawrence to throw the ball 20 to 30 times a game. So I think because they have good running backs, they just signed Carlos Hyde. They have James Robinson, who is really reliable last year. So I think they're going to focus on that more. They're only going to throw it when they need to throw it, I think. So Trevor Lawrence is going to get eased into it. But as the season goes on, I think Marvin Jones is going to be that top target for him. He's got DJ Chark on one side, Marvin Jones on the other. Laviska Shenault can play anywhere. So I think Marvin Jones is probably going to be that 12 point per game. But slowly as the season goes on, I think he's going to get better. That 12 to 15 range. So he's going to be a really, really good guy to pick up. Not too early, but he's going to be good for you. Next up, we have Corey Davis for the Jets. Similar to what I said about Marvin Jones, I think they're going to, if they draft a quarterback with Zach Wilson or Justin Fields, whoever it may be, they're going to try to ease them in. But right now, they don't have that reliable running back that they can just give the ball to. So I think Corey Davis is going to be a really big need. Fills a really big need for this offense, is that go-to guy that they can get it to. You also still have Jamison Crowder in the slot, but Corey Davis has that sky-high potential as he was a top 5 draft pick just a few years ago. And he's going to be really good for him. And at number 2, we have Kenny Golladay for the Giants. This one I did not expect, but Kenny Golladay is going to stretch the field for you. A big play receiver, can go up and get it. I just don't trust Daniel Jones enough to see him as a top-end wide receiver, but he's definitely number 2 here. I think he's better than Corey Davis and Marvin Jones and Curtis Samuel. So I think he's going to have a really big impact, probably that 13 to 15 range, because he's going to be their go-to guy, especially in the red zone. Get a lot of those red zone touches, and you're going to throw him the ball, and you're going to tell him to go get it. And that's going to be really big for Daniel Jones' progression. And at number 1, his former teammate, Matthew Stafford to the Rams. I just posted on my Twitter a couple days ago that I believe Matthew Stafford will be a top 5 fantasy QB. I totally believe that. You saw what he can do with almost no help in all of his years at Detroit, with Kenny Golladay being his best receiver. He can go out there and get you points, and now he's going to get Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp. He's going to have Cam Akers out of the backfield, that defense to rely on. So I don't think they're going to hold him back at all. I think the Rams are just going to go, this is your team, and you do what you want to do. And he's going to be so good for the Rams. I think that Rams team is going to be dangerous in the NFC, nearing that range. I think the top 3 teams right now are obviously Tampa Bay, you got Green Bay, and then you got the Rams. I think that's really close. So Matt Stafford is going to be really good. I'm thinking that 23 to 25 range for him. I really expect him to do big things. But that's going to do it Not too long of a video today, but we got my Twitter will be in the description. Make sure you give that a follow. At the end of the video, you're going to see a video, my last video. If you didn't watch that, go check it out. I did a quiz. It was pretty fun. I'll see you Wednesday, and thanks for watching.